What's going on, guys? Magdallan here with another farm strategy summary and review. Today we're going to be talking about Harbinger and Metamorph in City Square. As you can see in the beginning there, my build had a little bit of a struggle killing those Metamorphs, but we're going to talk about that, and we're going to go over the tree, and then we will discuss my individual scores for this farming strategy, and then we will go over the rankings for all of the strategies that we've done so far this league. And so let's jump right into the tree. Okay, we're going to come up through here and grab our shrine nodes and this first Harbinger cluster. And we're going to come down here and block everything except Metamorph and Delirium. And then we'll come up here and take this node for just 2 points. I think this is a really nice piece of tech, especially for a build like mine where I'm struggling with both survivability and damage when it comes to the Metamorphs. This is a pretty easy thing to throw on. And at this point in the league, I have a huge surplus of master missions on the map device. And so if you're in the same boat, pick these two up. Very nice addition to the strategy. We're going to come up here and grab more Harbinger nodes, swing through here and grab Singular Focus. Then we're going to shoot up into the middle area here and grab Harbinger as well as the last set of Shrine nodes. Come up this direction and grab our first cluster of Metamorph. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to grab this section of Metamorph nodes. We're going to grab these 3 map nodes here. You can drop these if you want to at this point. I have a pretty huge surplus of maps, and so these aren't really necessary, but I just kind of left them on. And then we're going to block everything over here, swing down this way and grab more Metamorph nodes, shoot over here and grab yet more Metamorph nodes, and then we're going to come up here and grab the last set of Metamorph nodes, and then we're going to finish it off with our red altars. And that is essentially the tree. There's not a whole lot to it, so let's jump into the rankings and we'll talk a little bit about how I set this strategy up. Now, quite a few people actually suggested this strategy to me in the comments on my last few videos, but my guy Veritasaru actually posted a pretty detailed description of what he thought a good version of the strat would be, and so we more or less went with that. As far as Scarabs, we did Gilded Harbinger and Metamorph, as well as Polished Reliquary. And then for Compasses, we did Map Contains Metamorph Monsters, and then Catalyst Duplication, and then the standard Harbinger Compass. We also ran the Harbinger on the map device for 6C, and then if you are going to use the Nico tech, make sure that you select that master mission at the bottom of your map device. And the big problem with the strat, as Veritasaru says, you need to make sure that all your maps have double boss on them. And the way that you can do that is either by buying them off of trade, and when I looked, they were fairly expensive, more than 10C a piece. And so I opted for the second option, which was to alt spam them myself. And this was a mistake. I did 50 maps in my first set, and it took quite a bit of time and was relatively frustrating. I'm not very good at quickly spamming through alterations, and so I rolled over it a couple times here and there, and that made me mad. And it just took time and was frustrating and boring. And if I was going to do this again, I would likely just buy them off trade regardless of the price. And I don't think that even at 10C per map that it would really ruin the strategy, but it would significantly decrease the profit margins. And so in that sense, proceed at your own risk. And it's worth noting that of all the strategies that I've done, this did require the highest investment initially as compared with everything else that I did. And so that's another thing to keep in mind if you're thinking about trying this yourself. And now let's take a look at the scorecard. So for fun, I've got this one at an 8. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed fighting the Metamorphs. I did die quite a bit, but they're kind of fun. They add a little bit of intrigue to each map, and scaling up the Harbingers as we did was really fun as well. The map's just kind of full of them. City Square is kind of set up in a way that once you have more than 5 or 6 Harbingers in there, there's going to be 1 or 2 of them on every screen. And so I did enjoy that. For repeatability, I'm going to give it a 6.5. And that's because I think after about 30, 40 maps, I was kind of starting to get burned out. And after I got past 50, I really was only doing it because I wanted to make this video. This would be a type of strategy that I would probably do for a day and then make your decision on whether or not it's for you or not. And then as far as scalability, I'm going to give it an 8.5. You can definitely take this further than I did. You could, for example, take all the organs that you get off of these Metamorphs and then actually go into the lab and start messing around with that. There's definitely some profit to be had there. Palestron had a really good video about this earlier in the league, but I did not do that. I wanted to keep this essentially just to the mapping itself and what dropped in there, and then I just kind of sold stuff. As far as profit, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it was middle of the road. I think a lot of the profit really came from the Harbingers, to be honest. I did drop 1 or 2 Divines off of the Metamorphs and a handful of Exalted Orbs, and then, random other currency. And of course, you're getting a ton of Catalysts, which sell really well. And so it is good profit, but I wouldn't say it's crazy. And then for efficiency, I'm giving it a 5 because really rolling those maps dragged everything down. And then, of course, you have to go through the process of making sure you've got all your scarabs and all the compasses. And so a lot more, front end time investment than I enjoy personally. And so overall, I'm going to give this strategy a 7.0, middle of the road. It was fun, but it's not something that I'm going to be doing in the long term. And so let's take a look at the rankings so far. The reigning champion is Harbinger Map Dupe Toxic Sewer at 8.5. And then we've got Harvest Essence Crimson Temple at 8.2. And then Breach Harbinger Strand at 7.4. The current strategy we're talking about, Metamorph Harbinger City Square at 7.0. And then we've got Blue Altar Crimson Temple at 6.9. And Expedition Strand Low Investment at 6.5. And then at the bottom is Legion Harbinger Dunes. I'm happy to report that I haven't encountered another strategy that I enjoyed as little as the Legion Harbinger Dunes. Everything else on here I think is worth a try, especially if it's a thing that you haven't done so far. And really, that's about all I've got for you today. I do have one more of these videos planned, and then given that I don't know if they posted it yesterday or today, but it does look like the league is going to be extended to about 4 months in total, and so there may yet be time for a few more of these types of videos as we go forward. And so, as always, if you found anything interesting or engaging in the video, please do hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. I appreciate you.